Hi guys, this is Arius Sews. Let's learn how to make these jumbo shirts together. Come along. Okay, let's get started. First, I want my band to be 1.5 inch wide, and I'm going to be taking note of that. Then from the start line, I'm placing that 1.5 and I'm going to be marking all my measurements. The first measurement is my hip measurement. I'm using 9 for that. And the next one I'm going to mark is the crotch length. I'm using 12 for that. And for the short length, I'm using 18. You can make it shorter, but 18 is what I'm comfortable with. So now that I got all those lines, I'm going to rule them all together just to get straight lines. After I'm done doing that, the next thing I want to do is to just label the lines so that I don't get confused as I'm taking my measurements. So the first one, I'm going to label it my hip, that's H. The second one, I'm going to label it my crotch length, and the third one is going to be the full length of the shorts. After that, now I'm going to divide my hip into 4. And I'm going to mark that rather on the crotch line, the hip line, and the waistline, just as shown. Then the next thing I want to do now is to add 2 inches because I want the pants to be a bit wide. So I'm adding 2 inches to all those measurements that I marked earlier. Now I rule a straight line to connect the lines together. To get the crotch extension, I'll mark what I have, which is about 14 inches now. I'm going to divide that into 4. And whatever it is that I have, that's what I'm going to mark as my crotch extension. For the leg of the shorts, I want it to be wide. So I'm just going to be measuring exactly the same thing I have as my crotch extension on that line. If you want it to maybe be a bit smaller, you can reduce it maybe by 1 inch or 1.5, but I'm making mine straight. So because I want the legs to be wide. So that's what I have there. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the front piece, which is completely ready now. So here I'm just basically showing you what it would look like if you want to reduce it by 1 inch. If you don't want the shorts leg to be so wide, that's what you just do. But I want mine to be wide, so I'm still going to cut what I have drafted earlier. So now it's time to cut the back piece. I've placed my front pattern on another piece of paper now, and from the waist I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch. Just watch how I'm marking all this, you would fully understand. So I'm going up by 1.5 inch. From the waist at the center back, I'm going out by 2 inches. On the hip, 2 inches. On the crotch extension, 2 inches. And on the legs of the pants, 2 inches as well. The next thing I want to do after this is to connect all these points together, just like so, just like what I'm showing. After that is done, I went ahead to connect the waist. So I made sure that the side waist was the same measurement and exactly the same measurement. So I just slanted from the 1.5 extension up there into the actual side waist. The side waist will remain the same, but the center back will go up by 1.5. And when that was done, I just cut it out. So the back piece is also ready. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead to cut these patterns out on my fabric. On the fabric, I'm going to add 2 inches to the length of the shorts and 0.5 inch to the upper parts, to the waist. 0.5 so that I can use that to join it to the band, and 2 inches so that I can fold that. Now it's time to sew. I'm going to be doing French seam because I'm not going to be weaving this short. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to place the wrong side of the fabric, which I've indicated with a chalk, on the wrong side of the fabric instead of the right side facing the right side. So it's going to be the wrong side facing the wrong side. And then I'm going to go to the center front, and which is the crotch, and I'm going to sew that by less than 1/4 inch. When I'm done sewing that, I'm going to now turn it back, the right side now facing the right side like the normal flat stitch, and I'm going to sew that by 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that to both the front and the back pieces, so French seam all through. Now that I'm done with that, I decided to add a pocket to this, so I'm going to be showing you how to go about cutting the pocket and adding the pocket to this short. The first thing I did was to come down by 1 inch from the waist, and then I decided where I wanted, how wide I wanted the pocket to be. I wanted mine to be about 7 inches wide, so I marked that on the front piece of the pants. You can mark that both on the front and on the back because it's going to help you in placing the pocket when you're done. So here now I have the piece of fabric I want to use to cut the pocket. I folded that into 4, so that I'm going to get 4 pieces, and I'm going to place my hands like so. I have a tutorial on jumbo pants as well, where I also showed how to cut inseam pockets, so you can watch that as well. So I just went out to cut the pockets, and I made sure that the opening was the same thing with what I wanted. So when I finished cutting this, I just slashed that part open, and I have all the 4 pieces that I need here. So yeah, I'm just going to be placing it on the shorts to show you what it's going to look like when I take it to the sewing machine. So the way I'm placing it right now is how it's going to be. Remember I said I'm going to be doing French seam, so please just watch closely how I do this. So the first thing again is I'm going to place the wrong side of the pockets on the wrong side of the shorts. I'm going to open the shorts into 2. You know, I've joined the center, so I'm going to open it to 2. I'm going to be fixing the pocket to all the sides one after the other, which means I'm fixing 4 pockets to 4 sides. I'm just going to place the wrong side to the wrong side and sew less than 1/4 inch, very tiny, and when I'm done I'll fold the right side facing the right side just as it's supposed to be, and I'm going to do that for all 4 sides of the shorts. And now it's time to sew the sides of the shorts. All the pockets are done. It's time to sew the sides. Just as I explained earlier, I'm going to be placing the wrong side facing the wrong side again. I'm going to run less than 1/4 inch all the way down, just the way I'm showing you right here, through the pockets, over the pockets, all the way down. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to turn it back. I'm going to turn it inside out, right side now facing right side, and I'm going to run a stitch of 1/2 inch all the way down. I'm going to do this to the first side, and I'm going to repeat this to the second side as well. Please note that I'm doing this extra step because I'm not planning to weave this short. If you have access to a serger, please just go ahead and sew it the normal way. Just stitch it down, the right side facing the right side, and then go ahead to serge it when you're done. I just always like how this looks when I'm done with my pants or my shorts. It just looks very clean and very, very neat on the inside. After I was done with both sides, I decided to fold the leg of the shorts. I prefer to fold mine at this point because it makes it very easy. It makes it flat and it's just all around neat. So remember I added 2 inches seam allowance for the folding. I'm just going to fold like this using my tape to guide me to make sure that I'm folding exactly 2 inches. I'll fold the leg of the both sides of the shorts. After I was done with that, now all I have left is the crotch part of the shorts, and I just went ahead to also do the French seam to that part, and this is what I had after I was done. Now it's time to fix the elastic. To fix the elastic, the first thing I did was to measure my waist. So I started from the center front and measured all the way around the shorts to get what my waist measurement is. After measuring the waist of the shorts, I cut out an elastic that was my actual waist measurement minus 6 inches. My actual waist measurement, which is 35 inches, not the 58.5. My actual waist measurement is 35 inches, so I measured that minus 6 inches for the elastic. Now for the actual band, the fabric is 4 inches wide and 59.5 inches long. The extra 1 inch is to join the fabric together. For the elastic as well, I just overlapped it on top of each other like so, and just went ahead to sew it down. Just make sure that it's straight, it's not twisted in any way. So I just went ahead to sew that down. Now it's time to fix the elastic into the case, which is the band that we cut out. Please just watch closely how I'm doing this and you would perfectly understand. You just put the elastic into the fabric like so, and you start sewing it down by half an inch. Please make sure that you don't mistakenly sew on the elastic itself. Sew only on the fabric that you folded into two, and just sew that all round. Make sure that the elastic is not twisted in any way. Just make it straight like this. And here is what it should look like when you're done doing that. Now it's time to fix it on the actual shorts. Just watch again and you'll perfectly understand. You can start sewing from anywhere. I'm just going to pick one of the parts where I stitched the band, and I'm going to place that in front and sew from there all the way around. And also ensure that you're not stitching on the elastic. Please, you're stitching only on the 0.5 inch, only on the fabric of the band. Please don't mistakenly sew on the elastic, and you're just going to run the stitch all around. After I was done doing that, this is what I now have. Just look at how beautiful that came out. For the rough edge at the band, I just went ahead to use bias to turn that off camera, and the shorts came out so lovely and so neat. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. See you in the next one. Bye.